Hi there everyone, welcome to Burningmonkey.net. So in this tutorial I'm going to demonstrate how we go about creating a mock-up website. So as you notice here, this is just a scan of an image I drew, and this is what I want the new learning tutorial website that I have for Burningmonkey.net. So that's tutorial.burningmonkey.net, and I want to change the way it looks so that's a little bit easier, a little bit more user friendly. So here we have at the top the logo going happy learning, and then we have the kind of like touchscreen menu interface that's gonna hopefully run smooth on here. And then at the top right you have the date and time, and at the bottom you have more of the menu options, and then all the way at the bottom you have the copyright and the month. So this is kind of an idea that I had, and I want to show you how to implement that. So if you don't have a scanner or if you don't have a scanner, then you can go about drawing it. You can use Paint, but for this instance I'm going to use Photoshop, and I'm going to click on New, File, New, and then at the presets you can choose presets. You can choose one that you like. I like to go into the web and then just choose kind of like in between. You can go 1024 by 760 or 1280 by 1024, and then click OK. The reason why I chose that resolution is because not that many people, you would be surprised how many people actually don't have a 1920 by 1080p monitor, and so that's the reason why I've chose this design, and I mean this resolution. So now that I have that, I'm going to click on here at the bottom to create a new layer, and then I'm going to disable this background layer just for fun, and then I'm going to use this text tool, so it's going to take a little while to load. There you go. And then I'm going to type in happy learning, and select it all, and I'm going to increase the size, and now for this example I think that the hardest part to do would have been the logo, but because it's gonna be an image, because it's gonna be happy learning at the top, the only problem that I can see that I'm gonna run into is trying to make from here to here, this, try to mask it into the website. So let's find out right now if I guess just the mockup period is not really that big of a deal. So right now that we have happy learning, I'm going to show you a trick. You go into here, you go to arc, and then I'm going to arc it, and we can move this menu around, and then you can see that it's already arcing. So we go back to this happy learning, and now we click OK. So depending on your design, you're gonna have different things. 110. I'll keep it that for now. So go ahead and put this right in the center. Another thing to do is to go into the rulers menu. I'll show you that in a little bit. See if I can put that there and center this somehow. Alright, so in order to get the rulers, you go to View and click on Rulers, and it should either hide it or show it. Alright, so with that done, let's go to the next part of the mockup. So you have the logo at the top, then we need a little area right over here that's gonna show the time. So I'm going to go to the shape tool, and let's see if they have shape that's similar to the one I want. So right now I'm noticing that I don't see any, so I'm going to go ahead and use a couple of shapes to create that. So I'm going to click on this rectangle tool, and I'm going to draw here, and going back to the image. So you have these little kind of shapes there. Let's see. I think that'll do. And the cool thing about Photoshop here, now this can be any color. You can change the color of the shape. And the cool thing about Photoshop is you just take the layer, drag it down here, and it'll copy it. So now what I need to do is go back over here. I'll notice that it's facing down. And then you go to image, and you can adjust it. But what I want to do is transform path, rotate. I want to flip it vertically, and then just adjust it. And there you go. Alright, so now we have the time. It's going to go here, and we can even take it one step further. I'm going to create a new layer and say 8:20 a.m. Or you know, like that. And then select the whole, Control A to select all the text. And then we'll say 36. And we'll put it in here. And this is of course going to contain both date and time, but I am going to go ahead and just put the time in for now, just to give it an idea. And next we go back to our mock-up here, that one I drew, and then we have these little tiles. So for that, I'm just going to go ahead and create some tile shapes, and I'm going ahead and change the color. Now these are just to help us visualize what it could be. These colors aren't going to be in the final version, I believe, depending on how you see and what you think. If you think you like those colors, and you can, that's the good thing about working in shapes in Photoshop, is that you can easily change the color. So for example, let's say I didn't like this color, I go into this shape and you can easily change it like that. Now you might be thinking, but what about the little triangles here? What if I don't like that color? Oh well, let's say you change the one in the middle. You have this little kind of like little eyedropper. You just click on the color and it'll automatically change it to that color. So if you find a color, there's various ways to get that color. So down here also you have this number symbol, and then in here is a code. So if I click on this green, it'll change it to that code, and then you can either type that in or use the color swatch, and there you go, or the color picker actually. So right now that I have this rectangle copy, I'm going to copy that one again, put another one over here. I was thinking about putting it here. I kind of have some sort of alignment, but that's not all the way yet. So now the next thing is that text. I believe it said HTML menu, and of course the font, you could also always change it so that you get a better idea of what kind of font you wanted. Alright, and then go ahead and copy that text again, go down here, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and use a ruler so that I can place this text here, and then go back, and then it's Photoshop. Alright, and then another one. Now this was a blog or some sort, and a client asks you to create a mockup for a blog or for something that has like an about page, and they want that page too. There's a website called or there's some text called Lipsim or something. It's like this text that just is random, and it supposedly has all these, like a kind of like a set of a bunch of random words, and then you just copy and paste it, and those are the ones that are going to represent what content would go in that area. So it's just a representation of what would go in there. Alright, and that's a good idea. So this is almost complete here. Reason why I'm not writing these are because this is a mock-up and I want to show you what this could be and how you'd go about to doing this next. Alright, so copyright 2014. Then what you do, so you can either put this white back on, but what I like to do is just leave it like this. Go to File, Save As. I'm going to put it in a folder on the desktop, New Folder, and this is where everything about your website is going to go. So I'm going to say Burningmonkey 4.1, because I believe the last version I made was 3 point something, and I'm going to go ahead and name it Happy Learning. And because this is a Happy Learning, this is going to be a PSD, but I'm going to save it as a PNG for now. And the reason for that is this transparency is going to show up in Adobe Dreamweaver. So I'm also going to save as HL for Happy Learning, and it's going to be a PSD. So I can come back and edit and change things in case I wanted to. Now remember, this is just a mockup, but I will show you right now that you can actually use it as a main site. So like I was saying, you can actually use that image to create your site, and I'll show you and demonstrate that right now. So I have Dreamweaver open, and this is the CS6 version, and I'm going to go ahead and go to Site, Manage Sites, and this is where you're going to start to create all of your site content, including that HTML file. So I'm going to click on New Site, and I'm going to say BM 4.1. Now you can actually give your site the name right here, and then this is the most important part here, where it says where your site is going to be located. So it's on desktop, BM 4.1, and then select. So now BM 4.1, and inside this slash means that it's inside this BM 4.1 folder. So if I had another folder, it would be inside BM 4.1 slash that name of the folder, then slash. Alright, then I'm going to click on Save, and then Done. Now when we go to uploading this on an FTP server, we're going to go into those settings. So now that this is done, I'm going to go ahead and right click here and say New File, and I'm going to name it index.html. Sorry, .html was already there, so now I'm just going to double click on index. And the first thing that we need to do right at the top is change that untitled document to the name of your website. So right now, if we actually preview this, which there should be a preview here, preview in Firefox, let's preview in Chrome, we will have this untitled document right at the top. So once we change this to Happy Learning, we will see that it changes. So first thing you have to go to File, Save, or you can click then File, Save here, or you can just Command or Control S. And now we have that, we can preview in Chrome, and you'll notice that it says Happy Learning right at the top now. So now we've done that, one easy thing to do if you're kind of like new to this, you can click on this image here. This should be, if this was already inside your folder, you should actually see this. And if you put your picture afterwards, once you synced up your Dreamweaver with your folder, then you can just click refresh, and it should show any images that you added. So click and drag it right into here, and just click OK. And there you go. There's your happy learning and your mockup here. So another thing that you can do once you're in here, which is cool, is you can right click and page properties and background color, click apply, and you'll see that your background changes. And then when you actually go to preview, cancel preview in Chrome, then click yes. Then, what do you know? There it is, Happy Learning HTML. Now, none of this is clickable yet, but that's pretty cool. So, it kind of saves you a lot of time here. So, with that done, you can make something clickable by going to, and it should be in one of these menus here. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the layout. So I'm going to go to, let's see, where was it? View, window size. Give me a second. Workspace. So it's going to go inside Windows, Workspace Layout, and I'm going to change it to the classic view. And this is going to give me and show me the various tools. So you can see all these extra things here. Draw AP div, you can do that. But there was one that was even easier here. I think it was in the beginning. It should be here. Media? No. Here we go. So right in this image tab, there's one that says draw a rectangle hotspot, oval hotspot, polygon hotspot. I'm just going to go ahead and click on rectangle hotspot and just demonstrate this to you all. Click OK. Alright, so now that we have that, let's see if I can, oh, you can't modify it. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so now that I put this little hotspot above, I'm going to hit escape and then click on this. Let's see. No, yeah, we can. Okay. So now I'm just adjust it. Alright, so right now we preview. It's going to have something going. But first, what I'm going to do is change this link here. I'll say, here, watch. I'll just show you right now. So right now, if we preview it, so let's see. Preview in Chrome. Yes, let's save it. You'll notice that the cursor changes as soon as I go to the Happy Learn. This is a hotspot, but right now if we click it, it doesn't actually take you anywhere. So what I'm going to do is go to burningmonkey.net and I'm going to copy this link here. So right now when I change or edit this, it should take me to that. So I'm going to hit return on my keyboard so that it actually stores it, and then click on Chrome to preview, and now you'll notice that it highlights again, and now when I go to click it, it actually links to burningmonkey.net. So with that done, you can see how you can easily add links to everything. So for the timer, it's not really that you're going to use a linking one. More likely you're going to use an AP div, and then you'd put in the code to draw the time inside this. So the way that works is you click on this AP div, and you can name it too, and then you go to the code, and inside here between this AP div 1 and the slash the AP div, you type in your code, and then you go to design view, and you'll notice that ASAZ is in there. And let's go ahead and say make it H1, just so that you can see. Now H1 is a header, so that changes the size of the font so you can see it's bigger. And so if your website was all about just clicking something like links, I would suggest using this method, but since mine is going to be using this kind of like a sleek menu that's going to cycle through these, now that's going to require a little bit more code. So I actually have to build it inside Dreamweaver or inside a web editor It could be HTML or it could be the notepad. And so this is just a quick example of how you can go about creating a mockup and the steps. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Keep watching. Thanks for all your support, and I'll see you guys next time.